It's not about your mom and dad's relationship with God. You can't ride the coattails, as they say. It has to be your own. That was a big thing, obviously, in my own story, but that I really wanted my kids to understand. Good morning, you guys. Today, I am so excited to get to read to you the first story from our Bell Clan Ebenezer's. Now, for me, when it came to starting this, probably a very obvious first question that was going through my mind was, well, where do I begin? What is the first story that I'm going to put in here and tell? And as I was thinking about that, it hit me, well, my first Ebenezer anyway in my own life was my testimony, the story of when I asked Jesus to come and be in true personal relationship with me. And then it hit me, how rad would it get to be to write down my testimony in such a way as to tell it to my kids so they can know Mama's story, kind of where she started, where she came from, and how her relationship with Jesus got real. And so that's what I did. The very first story in here in our Ebenezer's is my testimony. I also asked my husband to write down his as well so they could know both Mama and Dada and their story and how they came to know Jesus. So that's what our very first Ebenezer's are. So just to show you guys a little bit of how I began mine, on the very first page, there is a verse right here, and it's from Deuteronomy 6:20. It says, "When your child asks you in time to come, what is the meaning of these testimonies, these statutes, these rules that the Lord your God has commanded you? Then you shall say to them, ... And that's what the rest of this book is. Now, another little thing to know about me is I'm a little bit OCD, hence the table of contents on pages 2 and 3 here. A time where my OCDness, I think, has actually come in very helpful. So I'm wanting to find a specific story to read to my kids on a certain day. Boom, we know what page it's on. A point for the OCDers out there. And then, yeah, like I said, on the next page is the start of my testimony. There is my mama disciple right there. And all right, here we go. So Annie's testimony. Here is the story of how I came to be in true relationship with Jesus. Nana and Papa introduced me to Jesus when I was very young. They told me all about him, and we went to church all the time. I would learn facts about him, read his stories, learn verses from the Bible, sing songs about him, but I never got close to him like you would a friend. I never talked with him about my life. I never asked him questions about his. I never allowed his wisdom to come into my heart and shape the way that I lived and saw the world. I was just learning facts about Jesus like you would a character in a book, rather than growing in true and personal relationship with him. Like a friend you see and spend time with every day. Not only did I not get close to him personally, I also didn't allow him to get to know me. I never talked and prayed with him about my life. I never asked him for help. I never went on dates with him. As I got older, instead of growing in a relationship with Jesus, I decided to grow in a relationship with other people. Those other people told me that if I wanted to be friends with them, I had to lie to Nana and Papa, lie to other friends, sneak around, and do things I was not allowed to do, and be mean to others. Even though I knew these things were not good and that Jesus said not to do them, I listened to those other people because I wanted them to think that I was cool. I wanted to be in relationship with them and not Jesus. However, it wasn't long before living this way began to hurt me and hurt others. They told me to live. The way they told me to live left me feeling really sad, and it left me feeling really lonely. Then, one day, those friends of mine left me. They told me they were never really my friends, and they just wanted to use me. It left me feeling really broken inside. The things they told me to do hurt my heart, knowing that I could never make those decisions go away. It also left me feeling so ugly, both on the inside and on the outside. Not only did those people tell me I was ugly and not worth being friends with, I too felt ugly because I did not like the lying, cheating, mean girl that I had become. One day, when I was feeling really, really sad and lost, wondering if life was going to look like this forever, two friends from church came to me and asked, "Annie, what are you doing? If you keep living this way, you are going to die. But it's not too late to change. Jesus loves you and wants to be in relationship with you." I was hurting so bad that I didn't know what else to do. So I prayed for the first time in 10 years and asked Jesus if this was true. I was met with an overwhelming yes. Jesus told me I didn't need to be sad or lonely anymore. He wanted to be with me always. He wanted to save my life and be my best friend. I didn't need to feel broken anymore because he was going to take my heart in his hands and fix it. He told me he died on the cross for this very thing, to take my sins, my brokenness, and make me new. He told me that I was beautiful in his sight and he didn't want anyone else but me, and that he would never leave me as those people had. I instantly knew that this was the kind of relationship that I wanted to be in. I went home and told Nana and Papa everything. They forgave me for all the times that I had lied and hurt them, and they came alongside me to help me grow in true relationship with Jesus. Asking Jesus to forgive me and growing in a true relationship with him is the best decision I have ever made. Life with him as my best friend is too good to be described in words. I love you so much, Jesus. Thank you for the best relationship I could have ever hoped for. And there's a picture back in the day. I think I was still a senior in high school with my mom and dad. So that is my very first Ebenezer. Like I said, the one following right after that story is my husband's testimony. And getting to read that to our kids, getting first and foremost to reflect on and remember my story and where I came from, and then getting to pass that along to my children, that they could know even now how Mama, what she kind of had to go through, where she started and where she is now, for them to see and realize, hopefully even now, that it's not about your mom and dad's relationship with God. You can't ride the coattails, as they say. It has to be your own. That was a big thing, obviously, in my own story, but that I really wanted my kids to understand, that it has to be your own. And to get to communicate that to them now, I know that I'm already seeing the fruit in their own pursuit of Christ, in their own little lives, and that they are growing with him in their relationship, their own personal relationship with him. And so that's where it all began. That is the first story in our Ebenezers. Like I said, I cannot wait to get to read more to you. And hopefully this might be something that's starting to stir in you, making your own Ebenezers and what those could look like for your family, that you could have a place where you go to intentionally remember with one another what God has done and to get to worship him in those things. All right. Well, see you next time. Bye.